So this is what I'm going to use for my bushing behind my drive clutch. I was going to use some brass or copper bushing, copper tubing from Home Depot or something like that, but the one copper tubing that I got to try was too big, and the brass was like $7 for a small fitting, so it fits right in there. I brought a parts crankshaft out here and it'll fit right in there, so I'm gonna cut this off. This is just a scrap bike, it got run over, so alright, we'll cut that off and then we'll have to cut it down to size. I'm out here working on the Dingo again, lining up the clutches so that I can make a spacer for in there. And what I'm gonna do is, it's gonna be difficult with one hand, but lay this on the driven clutch and then line the drive clutch up on it, and then I'll measure in between the engine and the clutch and make a spacer that size. It's almost impossible to do that with one hand. So to measure in between there, I just took a couple sockets and slowly found one that was almost exactly the right size. I'm just gonna go a hair bigger than that, and then I'll trim it down if I need to. But that should do the trick. I'll just put the socket next to the spacer that I'm gonna cut. Mark it all around and then. Alright, I was trying to measure the crankshaft cut to make the spacer that goes in there, and then I realized that I might as well just put it in and then mark it all the way around, and then I'll know exactly where to cut off. So that's what I'm gonna have to do next. Make my spacer. Okay, so I got my spacer made for the inside, and it fits just about as good as I could have hoped. Let me put that back on there. I gotta file the edges, a little sharp, but let's let you see. A little bit too small on this edge, but it's more than good enough for go-kart. Out of the crankshaft, I had to drill through just a little bit, but it's pretty good for what I need anyway. Goes right in there, so then I can tighten down and I'll pull it right into the crankshaft. So we got the spacer done and well, I guess the other spacer done. Now I gotta pick up a bolt, a longer bolt now, because it's further out on this engine. Alright, I've got the clutches installed. I need to tighten this up in the morning, just because I don't want to run the air compressor because it's pretty late. I cut a backboard for just temporarily. I'll probably recut it just because of how bad it turned out. But hopefully we can run this tomorrow. I think I need to cut some more spacers for the front axles. What else? Put that wheel back on. The throttle cable, I need to go get the one off of the other Kart, because this one's just a little too short. The other one should be fine though. But I think that should be it. Shouldn't be too much to do in the morning before we go hopefully ride it. Here's where we're at for now. I've got these two pads, which are actually, I believe, off of sissy bars for motorcycles. And I think just temporarily for test rides and stuff, I'm going to use this one, and it's just screwed into the back. I already put one in up top and it went in pretty easily. I might just leave one in actually. Should be fine. I'm going to pop that wheel on. I'm going to see about the spacers in the front and then probably be able to try and ride it tomorrow. So I was actually able to use this throttle cable that came with the Dingo. I hadn't taken into account that the pedal was just dangling. It was laid all the way flat. So when I pulled it back, it gave me enough slack here to put that in there and tighten it down. And it worked fine. Never gave me any trouble.